have with us Mr. Grinch. He is here to tell us all about his past, about Christmas, and about how he's doing today. Hello, Mr. Grinch. Let's jump right in. Tell us a little bit about your past. How are things going during school, and what were your friends like?
Well, I grew up in Whoville and went to school with all the Whos, but I was alone a majority of the day. The classmates and teachers included seemed to make fun of me due to my excess hair growth. The odd color green called me a freak and turned me into an outcast, but honestly, if you've ever looked at a Who, they're not exactly exempt from the line of freaks either, I don't think. But that was my school life, and that's really probably most people's school life, so you make the best of it, or not.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Grinch.
It's okay.
Sometimes people can be harsh, and they don't know what they're thinking before they speak. So why did you move to
I'm
Mount...
pretty sure some of it was premeditated, but it's alright. Continue.
So why did you move to Mount Crumpet and live all alone? Was isolation good for you?
Oh, it was beautiful. No noise, no Whos. Just me and this little pathetic dog that really does nothing, except it kind of helps my sanity because it gives me a little bit of justification in talking to a dog that's not understanding what I'm saying and talking to myself all day, I guess. But the high altitude is starting to get to me with oxygen deprivation, and it's cold. I never sleep. I hate literally everything. My heart's 3 times too small. The doctor says I have at most 2 months. It's like really a medical condition. So, yeah, it's kind of sucks.
Well, I can see how that's not very easy to live up there. Don't you wish that you were around some other people?
No.
Okay. Well, I saw that you have a dog named Max.
Is that his name?
Yes.
I've been calling him Mickey for years. Okay, continue.
Well, why were you so hard on him, and how is he doing today?
I mean, after I robbed people and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was hard of him because he was pretty worthless, didn't do anything. I wasn't really sure what he ate, so he got kind of small. But then he was able to pull like 4 billion times his weight in children's presents, so I was pretty proud of him for that. Definitely earned him a little respect points with me. Today he's doing great. After the whole Christmas incident, I've adopted even more dogs. Max has friends. We all live up there happily, but we live up there with my dogs, Max and his friends and his wife. So.
Well, that's good to hear. Now let's talk a little bit more about Christmas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you made the decision to take Christmas away from all the Whos.
Absolutely.
What drove you to do this, and why?
Well, mostly because of the past, and it seemed that every year, once a day, they would get together with their gifts and feasts and toys and presents and sing happy songs, but I knew what it really was. It was really just a disguise of a way of getting back at me again, still bullying me 40 some odd years later, just because I was different. So I decided to show them what loneliness really meant. Tried to, at least.
Well, thank you for explaining that, Mr. Grinch. I'm sure a lot of people didn't understand that side. Did Cindy Lou Who play a role in making you a better person?
Possibly, I'm sure. She certainly didn't make me a worse person. I had never had that sort of kindness showed to me. Not even kindness, more neutrality. The little kid had awoken to my, and she had no bias, no predisposition to my appearance. She didn't care that I was a huge, hideous beast. She just welcomed this person who she thought was a deformed Santa Claus into her home and treated me as an insane person would, but it was very kind. And yes, it did play a role.
Good. So how were you feeling after the first encounter with her? When she told you she thought you were Santa Claus?
Yes, well, I was dressed as Santa Claus, so that helped my ego a little bit, and that my disguise was very adequate, though it was coming from a 2-year-old at 3 in the morning, so I took it with a grain of salt, but still, I take what compliments I can get nowadays.
Well, that's good. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Grinch. It was great talking to you and letting people understand more about you. We wish you nothing but the best for your future.
Thank you. Do I get paid after this? I like it.